This is my New Year's resolution.
When my mother-in-law begins to yell and shout. Boom, we are back. Commish, welcome to 60 feet 6 inches, episode 11, Sticks.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
2023.
I can't believe it, Commish.
I can.
New Year's resolution.
I'm glad. I have a lot of goals this year.
That's great. That's great. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. It's been a while. It's been almost exactly a month, Commish. A lot has happened. A lot has happened within Major League Baseball and everything. But before we jump into it, everybody, our last episode was a little bit overmodulated. We apologize. We have corrected the issue, Commish. We've corrected it. We've been slapped on the hand, and we're ready to go. And now we're jumping into 2023 with my favorite part of the show, On This Day in Baseball History. On this day in baseball history, January 5th, 1957, the great number 42, Jackie Robinson, retires. Now, initially, he was going to fulfill a trade where he goes to the New York Giants that would send pitcher Dick Littlefield and $30,000 to the Brooklyn Dodgers. Now, what people don't know is obviously he did want to play, but which a lot of people don't know this, he went to work for the coffee company Chock Full of Nuts. You know that company, right? Right, Commish? Everybody does, right?
No.
No?
What is it called?
Chock Full of Nuts.
Chock?
Oh, nuts. You can find it in any kind of local grocery store and stuff like that.
Okay.
So he accepted a position.
Wait, coffee?
Yes.
You said?
Yeah.
Coffee beans?
Yes. Coffee shop. Well, at the time they had local shops like nowadays you have Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, stuff like that, which I don't have that kind of cash to go there. I could just get the cheap coffee that comes in like 50 little K-cups, and that's like $20. No big deal. So instead of him going to the New York Giants, right? Because then 2 years later, the Dodgers would go to Los Angeles. He decided to take a position as basically he was the director of personnel for the whole entire company. The president of the company, obviously, somehow, because Jackie was a very, very established, intelligent guy, went to UCLA, very intelligent person, very articulate, no business, but at the time, whenever he retired, short time after that, he developed diabetes, and he started getting a whole lot weaker. So I think it was something to where he wanted to stay in the game because he did a couple broadcasts in _65 for ABC, doing a couple playoff games for World Series and a little bit of commentating, which he was very well spoken, very well spoken. He had a very, very good radio voice, But on this day, so long ago, it seems like, especially since we're here in 2023. But I'll give you a good idea of what he did throughout his career. He had a lifetime .313 average. He won Rookie of the Year his first year in 1947, which if a lot of listeners don't know, 1947 was actually the very first year that they had the Rookie of the Year. It was called the Comiskey Award from the owner for the White Sox.
We've talked about him before.
Yes, we have. And after that, they had it in 1948. They had it for the entirety. And then after that, in 49, they separated it from American League to National League. So his rookie year, he had 175 hits, hit 297, 12 home runs, and 29 stolen bases, which at the time, 29 actually led the whole major league. So he was a quick guy, But he's got an NL MVP in 49. And that year he was hitting 342, 203 hits, 16 home runs, and 37 stolen bases. And he's got a World Series ring under his belt, But and a little side note that I made for myself, 1955 was actually Sandy Koufax's first year with the Dodgers. 19. Can you believe that? 19.
Wow.
He had over about 40 innings, so he threw. And I checked out his ERA.
It's not too far. When was Hank's first?
I believe
year?
It was
56?
56, 57. Either the year before or the year that they won the World Series in Milwaukee. Yeah. But Koufax wasn't bad. I mean, his first year, 19, had a 3 ERA with 40 innings. I mean, back then, he was first coming into his own and then became one of the most dominant pitchers that ever pitched. But, probably the most significant thing about Jackie Robinson, the number 42, in 97, Bud Selig had retired the number throughout the whole MLB. But, 10 years before that, they had actually renamed the Rookie of the Year award to Jackie Robinson Rookie of the Year award. So a little bit of backstory. It's not that Jackie didn't want to go to New York. It was that he already had a job lined up. He had talked to Life Magazine. You remember Life Magazine back at the time?
Oh, yeah.
And he sold his story 2 years earlier. So actually, the Brooklyn Dodgers found out that he wasn't going to New York through the paper, which is actually kind of interesting back then. And so 1962, of course, now it may have been different, but I still think it's the same. 5 years after you retire, you become eligible for the Hall of Fame. He was first ballot, first year, and he actually went in with Bob Feller, which is actually pretty interesting. Bob got about 94% of the votes. Jackie got 77.5%. And then the Veterans Committee also elected Ed Roush and then also player-manager Bill McKechnie. So that was really cool for him to go in, especially with a dominant pitcher like that with Bob Feller. I'm sure he was probably proud of that. But, within that time, Jackie, worked for Chock full of Nuts, did a couple of broadcast stuff like that. But, in 72, he died of a heart attack, from most likely from his diabetes that he had, which is kind of sad because I remember him saying in interviews that he felt a whole lot weaker once he had found out. And a lot of the supplements that you get for somebody who has diabetes, he didn't take it in his early life because he may have had it already, so it kind of deteriorated his body a little bit. But a lot of African American players that come into the game now, they're probably hold it as Jackie being the guy and that broke the color barrier. But,
sure.
But Branch Rickey was probably the guy all behind it because he saw the talent that Jackie had. And, it's we're very thankful for what he's brought to the game now. But on this day in baseball history.
Nice.
And also Harmon Killebrew passed away on this day in baseball history. Also, Commish, you know whose birthday it is today? It's Vaughn Grissom's. So we'll be seeing.
Oh, Atlanta Braves' new shortstop.
Well, it might be a little quick. What do you think?
Well, we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it, yeah. But Commish, we got a whole lot to cover. It's been a minute. I'm taking huge breaths as I'm talking because I want to get through all of this. But what we've done is we've taken a good look at all the free agents that we talked about previously that weren't signed. Pretty much all of them, Commish, they're all signed now. So what I'm going to do is rapid fire, and then we're going to talk about the ones that most interest you and myself, and then we'll go over them. All right, so you guys ready?
Deep breath.
All right, so Xander Bogaerts goes to San Diego for 11 years, $280 million. Dansby Swanson goes to Chicago for 7 years, $177 million. Carlos Rodon goes to the Yankees for 6 years, $162 million. Aaron Judge has been named the captain of the New York Yankees. He went back for 9 years, $360 million. And also, I want to get this before I forget. Breaking today, Rafael Devers signed a 1 year, $17.5 million contract yesterday. Last night, they extended him for 10 years, $313.5 million added on top of that. So they let Xander go.
Hello.
Locked down Devers, which, in my opinion, that's a good thing because they let Mookie go, let Xander go. They had to do something, Had to do something. But Kevin Kiermaier going to Toronto for 1 year, $9 million. Wilson Contreras going to St. Louis for a Yadier replacement for 5 years, $87.5, which is a big contract for a catcher. Kenley Jansen going to Boston, 2 years, $32 million. Brandon Nimmo is going to the New York Mets, or should I say back to the New York Mets. 8 years, $162 million. Overpay. I don't know who that was, Commish. But Christian Vasquez goes to the Twins for 3 years, $30 million. Chris Bassett from the Mets, instead of going back, goes to Toronto for 3 years, $63 million. Noah Syndergaard, yeah, he's still around. The Dodgers are paying him 1 year, $13 million.
Or
Andrew Benintendi, which great outfielder, is going to Chicago, 5 years, $75, which I think that's a great deal for him. Justin Turner, not going back to L.A. He's actually going to Boston, and he's got 2 years, 21.7. I'm guessing that's probably an incentive kind of contract since it's so weird and lopsided. Brandon Drury is going to the Angels, 2 years, $17 million. Matt Carpenter got a 2-year deal from the Padres, and that's going to be $12 million. That's not bad. 6 years, I'd pay him that for that. Joey Gallo is going to the Minnesota Twins for 1 year. How much are they paying him, Commish?
I don't know.
$11 million. He hit 160 last year.
Wow.
I guess they're just trying to do whatever they can to fix that offense. Jamison Tyone, he's got a 4-year deal, $68 million. Will Myers is going to Cincinnati for 1 year, $7.5 million. That's not a bad deal. Craig Kimbrell is coming back to the East. He's going to Philly for 1 year, $10 million. Rich Hill is still sticking around at almost 43. He's going to Pittsburgh for 1 year, $8 million. Nathan Eovaldi is going to Texas for 2 years, $34 million, which they're building a rotation in Texas right now. Gene Segura is staying in the East, but he's in Miami for 2 years for $17 million. Corey Kluber is still sticking around. He's going to Boston for 1 year, $10 million. Evan Longoria is still playing this year. He's going to Arizona for 1 year, $4 million. JD Martinez is going to the Dodgers for 1 year, $10 million. Great DH bat. You know, maybe play him at first base to give Freddie a rest, but I doubt it. Freddie hit almost 330 last year. Zach Davies, great pitcher. He's kind of bounced around a little bit. He's actually going back to Arizona for 1 year, $5 million. Cody Bellinger is actually going to Chicago for 1 year, $17.5. And Eric Hosmer is going to Chicago. How much are they paying him, Commish?
I didn't.
Innies, $750K.
Really?
That's
interesting.
To be honest,
that's
I like
worth the
that.
risk. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the deals that stand out to me, obviously, is Dansby Swanson.
Sure, the shortstops, right?
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's the story of the free agency.
We already know about Trey. Trey Turner's we already knew he went back to Philly for a ridiculous deal.
And the big pitchers, I mean, obviously, DeGrom going to Texas, Rodon going to the Yankees. Mm-hmm. Eovaldi, where did you say
he's going to Texas?
Texas too, with DeGrom. Interesting.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, the whole story, I think, of free agency was shortstops, right? And we speculated about Dansby. And I think we had mentioned before, Chicago, we really, with the new wife playing soccer up there in Chicago.
Makes sense for him.
I mean, and good deal, right?
I mean, I can probably say that Alex Anthopoulos probably wasn't even near that.
And to be honest with you, I mean, I like Dansby, but he struck out a lot. He's what's his career batting average? It's not that great.
It's got to be in the, I want to say 260s.
I don't even know if it's that high.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll come back to that because I'll look it up and look at it.
Cool.
But,
So Dansby at Chicago. Bogarts
to San Diego.
San Diego. That team is like
loaded.
Insane loaded.
I mean, luxury taxes, obviously, it's just a dust in the wind for them.
We haven't even talked about Tatis coming back.
Is he coming back? What are they going to do with him? You're going to put him in the outfield? I mean, you're not going to put him in short.
You got DH, right? You got to remember that. You got DH spot.
Yeah.
So those guys can rotate.
But you got Matt Carpenter going to San Diego.
Okay. You're not putting Matt Carpenter in the lineup instead of Tatis. Sorry. You're not doing that. Tatis still is one of the better players.
True. You're right.
But
He's going to be clean. He's going to be clean.
They're loaded.
They are loaded.
They're loaded.
Goodness.
I think a team that you have to question a little bit is Dodgers. Losing Trey Turner, losing their corner piece Justin Turner. Now you got your buddy Gavin Lux probably playing short. Cody Bellinger gone.
Yep.
You got Freddie.
Yeah.
You got Mookie.
You got Mookie.
And you got Will Smith, probably one of the better catchers.
Agreed.
But yeah, even the rotation. I mean, I don't know the health of Bueller. Is he going to be ready to go?
I'm not sure either halfway or maybe even at September.
I mean, how much more are you going to get out of Kershaw?
They paid him $20 million. Can you believe that?
So yeah, I think the Dodgers are on the way down, especially with San Diego with what they're doing.
If they had any chance to try to win it, it was last year with a 111 win season. I mean, that's a franchise record. for them, which is great, But
is there really much to talk about in the Central?
I don't think so. I mean, Contreras. I mean, that's it.
That's true.
Yeah.
And the Cubbies, what they're doing.
There is actually, and we'll get to that. We will get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, and so a lot of this stuff. Me personally, I love the fact that Aaron Judge went back to New York, and Willie Randolph and Derek Jeter were at his press conference while he was named captain. I thought that was really awesome.
We knew that was going to happen.
I mean, we did, but I thought that Rodon was going to maybe go back to San Francisco, but seems like the Yankees they're trying to win, and that's why Brian Cashman was extended. Now you have Garrett Cole, you got Nestor Cortez, you got Rodon, you're going to have Severino. I mean, it's a pretty good team now. You got Judge back, which is going to be your captain, something that's going to mold the thing that's going to help them win is they need more offense, especially from Donaldson, because Donaldson is very capable. He was dry this year. It could have been injuries or maybe just, I don't know, maybe just trying too hard, But you got Aaron Hicks out there, which Aaron Hicks is good when he's good. And you got a lot of prospects, Oswald Peraza playing short maybe. But, I mean, you got Rizzo's coming back too, So,
Getting
we'll see.
old a little bit.
Yeah, just don't say that, Commish.
What?
Because then I feel old. Jeez.
I'm older than you.
I know, but I'm just saying.
But, yeah, I mean, the big news in free agency is obviously the NL East.
Yeah.
I mean,
jeez.
all over the place, right?
All over the place,
I mean, some big names.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Big names.
Yeah, and, with the Phillies doing what they did with Trey Turner, goodness, I don't like Trey Turner playing against the Braves. He is a Braves destroyer. We have talked about this on the show plenty of times before. Unbelievable. And with Harper coming in the lineup later in the year, we may be able to get ahead of him a little bit. But what about those Mets? I mean, they're going to Met again. So you got Verlander and you got Scherzer. You got Oscar Nevarez, where they just signed him, and they traded James McCann. They traded him to Baltimore. But the thing is they've got Adley Rutschman. Why would they do that? Maybe to give him a day off or something?
Yeah, the Mets got some players.
They do.
I mean, Alonso.
Yeah, Lindor.
McNeil.
Yeah, McNeil.
Lindor.
Now that we're talking about the Mets, can we talk about how much overpaid they paid Brandon Nimmo? Is he really worth 8 years, $162 million? Is he worth that?
No.
Is it the hustle? Is that what it is? Just burning down first base?
When he walks.
Hard 90.
All four.
90.
30 miles an hour. There he goes with his pants up to his waist.
He's like Rob Schneider in The Animal. He just starts
He's
to
a
gallop.
weird dude. I've come to the conclusion the whole Mets team is a bunch of weird dudes.
They are a little strange.
They're odd,
like
man.
Pete Alonso during the home run derby.
Alonso, man, that guy is creepy strange.
Don't bother me while I'm doing my deadlifts.
What a nut job. This is coming from a Braves fan because we like to laugh at him. But, yeah, they it's going to be interesting to see what they do. They're putting all their eggs in one basket, man. They're rolling with it.
And there is one mystery guy that's going to be showing up.
Who's that?
Well, maybe we'll talk about it. That may be making an appearance. But we were talking about
Bobby Bonilla. Has he come back?
No, they're still paying him.
Contract.
They're still paying him, and the Reds are still paying King Griffey Jr. And Chris Davis. Chris Davis from the Orioles. He's getting paid through almost like 2048, where it's deferred to where he's getting paid like $9 million for like 6 straight years, and then $3 or $4 million. Which, to be honest, I think that would actually be pretty good as far as budgeting your money, wouldn't you say? Bobby Bonilla. I mean, he did it the best. To where if he's flat broke, hey man, I got $1 million coming in June 15th or whenever that date is. It's around June.
So with all the action going on in the East, were you a little surprised the Braves didn't do anything?
Well, as far as improving the team, yes. Blockbuster signings, no. But they did have a blockbuster trade, baby. So, A's catcher, Sean Murphy, he's been on the block for probably the last 2 years. And I really think that Billy Beane in the front office probably just build the value just to try to build it as much as they can. Same thing with Matt Olson. And then whenever they're ready to let him go, they let him go. The Atlanta Braves traded for Sean Murphy. They traded. This is a 9-player trade, Commish. Happened on December 12th. So it's been a while. Like, we just did a show, and then all this stuff just happened all at once. So Braves traded for Sean Murphy. All right. Now, the Braves had a catcher, an all-star catcher.
All-star DH.
Okay, but his position is catcher. You're right, Commish. All right, so we traded, the Atlanta Braves traded William Contreras, all right, to Milwaukee. Also, Esteury Ruiz goes from Milwaukee to Oakland, all right? And then we trade, the Atlanta Braves trade Kyle Muller to Oakland, Manny Pena, which 2 years, $6 million, that just didn't work out because he broke his wrist like the first game he played. Freddie Tarnok, who is a number 6 prospect, right-handed pitcher, and then Roybal Salinas to Oakland, number 18 prospect. So it's not like they gave up nobody. They gave up a lot of good players. And then the A's sent Joel Payamps to Milwaukee and also Justin Yeager to Milwaukee as well, right? So we got the Atlanta Braves get Sean Murphy within that deal. Well, Alex Anthopoulos has proven why he's the executive of the year. 2 weeks later, extension. He signs him to a 6-year, $73 million extension to solidify for real that catching position. And when you put...
So you like that move?
I do. I think it's a good move. Even though it may not have been a move that we needed per se, because we could have rolled with Contreras, but it was smart because...
I liked it, and I'll tell you what. Yeah, did Contreras have a great year last year? I think so.
Is he going to do that every year, though?
Right. Has there been consistency? D'Arnaud, how much more has he got, right?
Right.
And he definitely can't take on the catching role all by himself.
Not every day. Right.
So you're talking, okay, D'Arnaud, Contreras, a good little mix there. Murphy's young.
Yeah.
One of the best defensive catchers around.
Mm-hmm.
Has a good stick.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good move.
Yeah. He's a thick boy, too. He likes to...
Gives D'Arnaud a lot of time, too, to the DH maybe.
Yes,
and just
I would think
sort of
so.
Not get beat up so much behind the plate.
Yes, I would think so, too. And, as he compares to JT Realmuto, they're literally neck and neck as far as catchers, just in different leagues. JT's on a different level, but Sean Murphy coming to a winning team in a competitive division, I think that creates a little fire under him, because he grew up in Tennessee. I'm sure he was a Braves fan. But solidifying where you're – so
he's definitely a top 5 NL catcher.
I would say top 2. JT's only ahead of him. He's better than Will Smith.
Come on. You think?
Yes. Oh, yeah. So what – this is
very similar, I think.
Okay, fair enough. I'll say that so the Braves may have pivoted, obviously, in mind to keep their shortstop, but they pivoted to a catcher. So – this is just speculation. Maybe thinking that if a ball gets by the shortstop that they're starting that's not an elite like Dansby Swanson, Sean Murphy's going to throw him out when he's trying to steal second.
Possibly.
Because the shift is different, right? Shift is different this year. Have a lot of different things coming around. And also he's got a good, more consistent bat. Whenever he smacks the ball, he smacks it. And anybody that's coming from... I wouldn't say that the A's are a losing organization, but they don't win a lot. So if he's coming to an organization where he's going to win and they want him and he signs a deal, the sky's the limit. It's going to be tough to match 101 wins for the top 2 teams in the East, but is it fair for me to say that the NL East is probably the hardest division in baseball?
Yeah, that's very fair to say. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
And even with they probably have the worst team in baseball in their division. But even with Miami, you got their pitching staff with Lopez, Alcantara.
Mr.
Those
Cy
guys,
Young. Yeah,
they're good. They're good pitching. And, they got some young talent.
Yeah. They got Segura now.
Yeah.
He's a great
Chisholm.
Great middle infielder. That's right.
Yeah.
Kaz Chisholm.
Yeah.
And he's coming back from injury.
Yeah. So they'll, now Washington's horrible. Just awful.
What is going on?
Just terrible.
Hey, I saw they signed...
I don't even know if I know a starter on their team.
They signed Big City, Matt Adams, to a minor league contract.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Oh, my gosh.
I like Matt Adams. He was great in Atlanta. I liked him. Whenever
Anyway.
Freddie moved to third.
When you're talking the Phillies, the Mets, and the Braves, I mean, you can look just, I mean, at the pitching alone. The number of pitchers that are in this division is insane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, you talk about the Braves, can they win 101? I don't think they could with the schedule of last year, but remember, they went to the, what is it called, the universal schedule? I don't think it's called universal or whatever.
Yeah.
So it limits the amount of times you play your
in the
division.
That's right.
Now you get to play a little bit of everybody, which is cool. I like that.
Yeah, I want to see the Red Sox come in town. You know,
The Red Sox always come in town.
I want to see the Angels.
They are coming back in town.
Mariners also.
The Angels are coming back to town this year.
Yeah.
Remember, last year was sort of disappointing because Trout was out.
Yeah, and Ohtani pitched well except for Acuna. I think he hit a bomb off of him. Yeah. But
so yeah, I mean, pitching. I mean, you look at the Mets pitching and the Phillies pitching, the Braves pitching.
How are they going to hold up in the playoffs though? Because last year Verlander and Scherzer couldn't win a game to save their life.
Well, they're
in the postseason.
That's an issue for the Mets. I think a huge issue. I think the Phillies pitching can hold up better. And hopefully the Braves, will see what happens. Hopefully, Soroka comes back. That's
signed him for, I think, arbitration, $2.5 million. I want him to come back, We need him to come back. And the thing is Max Fried is on his last year without control. So next year, 2024, he's going to be a free agent.
So, yeah, you look at the Braves lineup. I guess the questions come. That hole on the left side, from shortstop all the way out to the wall with left field. What are they going to do? Vaughn Grissom's going to be your starting shortstop.
You think so?
Yep.
You don't think they'll give Arcia a try or anything?
I'm good with Grissom being this. I mean, yeah, you can take your lumps here and there.
Yeah.
You might.
Learning curve.
But you know what? Our offense is better.
That's right. And if Eddie is back to where Eddie Rosario is back to where he was.
He's our left fielder, you think?
Or Marcell Ozuna, please do better. Please. I actually like him. Whenever he's hot, he is hot. I mean, he almost won a Triple Crown in 20 whenever Freddie won that MVP. He's very capable. But we'll see. It'll
be an interesting year, man.
I'm expecting a huge year from Austin Riley and Acuna. I can tell you that. I expect high hopes for Michael Harris also, but I hope if he stays mentally where he is, he's fine. I love how calm he is and collective.
Just hope he's not another. No, I'm not going to even say it. You know what I'm getting ready to say?
Yeah, he was signed to a minor league deal by the Dodgers recently.
Yeah, Jason Hayward.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Name dropping. There we go. Agreed. Right?
I don't think he will, though.
No, he's got. I think that he really started to come into his own whenever Vaughn Grissom was with him in the dugout. Made him calm.
Get Albies back.
That's right. I was like, Albies coming back. That's another switch hitter. So you have a huge advantage. Also, we got Jimenez from the Tigers, so he's going to be a good arm. While Luke Jackson is maybe recovering from Tommy John. Got Jackson Stevens for $750K.
I'm cool with
not bad.
I'm very good with our pitching staff.
Yeah, and then we got Raisel, baby, locking down that closing position. Raisel Iglesias works fast. That's why I like him.
I mean, the Braves have never really gone out and gotten the big time closer, right?
No.
And but I mean, I like it a lot better than Kenley.
What do you think?
Even though he did come through for us in the playoffs.
How do you think he's going to do with that pitch clock with his wind up and everything?
You know how he's going to do? That why am I going blank?
The pitch clock is going to be, definitely going to be challenging for him.
No. You know what's going to be challenging for him?
Not balking?
His mental state when all those balls are going off the green monster.
Ugh.
Think about that. That's a short porch, man.
It is a short porch, yeah. You're right.
That green monster's going to get a workout.
It is, yeah. It is. Maybe it's,
I wouldn't want to be the guy that changes the numbers up there.
Gosh.
Look out, here comes another one.
They've got to have replacements probably for each number, because I've seen pictures of them inside the green monster where everybody signed their name and stuff like that. So over the years, they've probably gotten more and more, as they change out the innings or the runs or whatever.
I wasn't a big fan of seeing Edwin Diaz re-sign with the Mets. That dude is insane good. He's good, man.
But he's lights out.
The dude from St. Louis is good too. Helsley.
Yeah. He throws
He can bring
smoke. Yes, he does. But in the division itself, I mean, you have the Mets won 101 games, Braves won 101 games, Dodgers won 111, and then
Dodgers going to have a big drop-off.
There's only so many pieces you can add just to make the fans happy. I think that's what the Padres are doing. Goodness. They have to win now. Have to.
They will win now.
And then be in debt for the next 15 years. A.J. Preller's job is he might be on the hot seat if they don't start winning.
Think about the guys they got, man. Come on.
Jeez. My goodness.
Machado.
Yeah.
Soto.
I forgot about Juan Soto. Oh, my gosh.
Who else?
Trent Grisham.
Yeah. We just talked.
Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah. Not Lindor, but Tatis when he comes back.
Fernando Tatis Jr. Oh, my gosh. Now, the Mets can make a splash if this guy just signs the dotted line. Something is delaying Carlos Correa. On the 13th of last month, the Giants just came out swinging. Agreed 13 years, $350 million. Okay. So a week later, just a week, they have a press conference to introduce him. It is stopped abruptly because they find some irregularities on his physical, right? Well, within literally, Commish, the next day, the Mets sign him. They agreed to pay him 12 years, $315 million. All right? As of January 5th, he's still not signed. It's not finalized.
I don't think it's going to either.
So what I found was two things. One, this man has only stolen one base in the last 4 years, 2 attempts. 2014 had broke his leg. I think it's femur maybe, and some kind of special structure reconstruction in his leg or something like that. And then the Giants saw it and they immediately backed off whatever they saw in his X-rays or his physical. And then,
how quick did he come back from that injury? How do you come back so quick from an injury like that?
I have a syringe I can stick in my leg, maybe. Possibly.
Wasn't he at Houston, too, and a lot of...
Where's my trash can at? I'm going to bang it. Some
interesting stuff going on with him.
What is going on? What in the heck is going on?
There's something, because everybody's running.
Even Papa Cohen, he was ready to sign him and everything. But then he's starting to get some, caution. And even
that's why I think it's
who's his agent? Scott Boras. Even Scott Boras said, "Well, everything's fine. We're just taking the time." What? What it is? We are a month away from spring training.
With what they've shown us to jump on guys and not care, and now all of a sudden they're a little bit hesitant with this guy. Something's up.
Something's got to be up. It's very, very. It's very abnormal. I don't think I've ever seen something like this.
But what's interesting with all this is I've heard a little whisper.
A little birdie told you something?
No, but just a little bit of whispering going on about possibly being an Atlanta Brave.
Really? And maybe just doing a shorter deal.
But it sort of scares me, though, because what's going on? There's something going on with this guy.
If Farhai was going to pay him $350 million for 13 years and for some reason didn't, if he was committed, because they were going after Aaron Judge and they were going after Rodon also, and if they offer him and then they back up and then Steve Cohen comes up and says, hey, well, we'll take him, literally a day later, and then that halt. I mean, it's been almost 2 weeks, Commish, and this is not normal because this is what's going on in the world. Nobody knows what's going on. What is going on?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
And to be honest, hats off to anybody that's in the media that's keeping a lid on it because something is going on and nobody's talking.
No, they talk. The media would know. They'd get that out there. They did show that X-ray of his knee where it's absolutely no ligaments or cartilage in between his
kind of like whenever R.A. Dickey was drafted.
Yeah.
R.A. Dickey was missing a ligament in his arm, and I think it was the Rangers, I think, that drafted him, and they just gave him less.
Which could explain the lack of stolen bases and attempts and everything like that. Maybe they're just relying on his,
glove. I mean,
a little bit of a glove and
his bat.
And his bat.
Yeah. I mean, he's not an explosive kind of stolen base kind of person, but, I mean, there's got to be some kind of speed there, wouldn't you think, right? I mean, he's a healthy guy. You have trainers that are around you during the offseason to get you ready. You're a professional athlete.
Maybe that's why they give Nemo so much money.
Because he's healthy?
Keep his speed in the lineup.
Yeah.
They don't have much speed.
No, they don't. They really don't. Lindor's not, I guess, he's not slow, but he's not. I don't think he's a guy that's going to steal you 30 bases a year. Alonso ain't going nowhere.
No, but if they wanted to create speed on their team, get Alonso to be chasing you from behind, I don't want that weirdo catching me.
I never like polar bears chasing me, that's for sure. Especially guys that
look out.
Especially guys that look like they're about to literally punch somebody in the face while they're doing deadlifts during a home run derby. I wonder what he's listening to. Brian Adams, maybe. Baby, you're all that I want when you're lying in my arms. Said that's my pump-up song. But so with Correa not going anywhere, that's really the only thing that's going on with baseball. I mean, Devers obviously did sign, which wasn't a surprise, but the fact
pretty much getting set.
Yeah. The fact that they signed him in a one-year deal, what I was thinking was 1 year, 17.5, was they want him to stay. They just probably don't want to continue talks. Well, I was completely wrong because within a couple of hours after that, they signed him to a long-term deal, which somebody like him, I mean, great third baseman. You could probably put him at short or second, but you have, Trevor Story, so maybe they'll move him back to short. But he hasn't been doing anything either.
The great thing about free agency, I'm going to flip the page on you a little bit. It's really helped me out with my fantasy team.
How is that?
Well, we're in been in this league for like 15 years now.
Oh, wow.
So you get to freeze 6 guys.
Oh,
after,
6?
Yeah.
Wow.
It has to be at least 2 pitchers and at least 2 hitters. So you can go back.
Okay, so you can't go a full rotation of 5 and then one position player?
No, you have to have 2. So I was getting ready to have a little bit of a dilemma because I had sort of stacked my pitching a little bit. So I had Scherzer, Fried,
right,
Musgrove, and DeGrom.
Holy cow.
What was I going to do? You can't take that many pitchers, then you don't have the hitters, right?
Agreed.
Sort of got saved because DeGrom's with Texas. We're National League only. We're National League only.
So nobody can use DeGrom?
No, he's in the American League. National League only. So that saved me, right?
It did, yeah.
Well, on the offensive side, Acuna, Will Smith. Who else do I have? I had C.J. Cron.
Great right-handed bat.
I had Drury.
Brandon Drury.
But he's in American League now.
That's right. He's with the Angels.
And Cronenworth. So really, I'm pretty set. I'm not gonna. I think I'm pretty set, man. I got 3 great pitchers between Musgrove, Fried, and Scherzer.
Padres have a ridiculous infield.
And then I got, my offense. I'll have Acuna, Will Smith, just because he's one of the better catchers. You're not going to get great catchers. And a better
hitting catcher.
And I'm going to go with Cron, CJ.
He can drop bombs.
Huh?
He can drop bombs.
Yeah. And then, there'll be some guys. Because then you got to think about the guys that came from the American League over to the National League. They're going to be free agents in our league. So
that's right.
They'll be gone first round. Verlander will probably be number 1 gone.
Right. But
yeah, man.
Wow.
But you got some guys. Bogarts and so yeah, man. So that saved me because I was really like, I can't.
You can't imagine.
I was really. I mean, I know this is completely off subject. I'll finish it right here. I was really not gonna freeze DeGrom just because he's been hurt every daggum year. That's
why the deal what he signed $185 million. It's a high risk. Chris Young knows that, but I think that maybe it was something, we talked about this before, maybe it's something that's just going on in Queens that he's expressed that he didn't want to be there. No, think about all the guys that have, Matt Harvey. I knew that was coming. Thor. I knew that was coming too.
there's more, I'm sure.
They went down, and this is my opinion. This is a hot take for me. They went down after Terry Collins left because Terry Collins was great for that club. And even Travis Darno was there also. Steven Matz, he was a great pitcher. You know? Zach Wheeler. I mean, it's crazy. Maybe they're just doing something in Queens to where maybe it's just overworking maybe.
Yeah, but you better not be overworking old guys.
I agree.
Which is what they got. I think they're going to have some pitching issues this year.
If Scherzer ever complained about a dead arm in Los Angeles, can you imagine? They are literally, Steve Cohen and the whole organization are going to lean on Scherzer and Verlander. I mean, Verlander's got a brand new arm, but still, his first outing was okay, and then whenever they won it last year, his second outing in the World Series was fine. But, I mean, can you expect these guys to throw 170, 180 innings? No way. But you're paying them 43 and a third. They better.
So, so when looking at the National League, I mean, Phillies, Braves, Mets, Dodgers, San Diego. Anybody else?
Well,
I mean, Milwaukee has a pretty dadgum good pitching staff, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, Corbin Burns is only one man.
Well, they got Woodruff.
Oh, yeah, they got Brandon Woodruff.
Yeah,
cool.
They're not
he's
bad.
A good pitcher. Yeah, and they got a good catcher now too. You got Contreras coming over there, which he's going to shine. He's going to do great. But the thing is
Daily though, the wear and tear on the body.
You have Yelich. Where has he been?
Yeah,
he has fallen off. Christian Yelich has completely fallen off. Thanks. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not going to do that for the rest of his career, but he's been almost absent.
I think St. Louis is the team to beat that division.
Oh yeah, they've got. Whenever they added Contreras, Wilson on that may be, but replacing Yachty, it's very tough. Pujols found a little bit of edge at the end of his career, which that was insane, hitting over 700 home runs. But you got Paul Goldschmidt, your MVP. You got Nolan Arenado, the MVP runner-up. You got Tommy Edman. You got O'Neill. You have a lot of guys that were hurt last year. Halsey in your bullpen, so you have a pretty decent staff and a pretty good team, especially with as long as you got Nolan Arenado on the corner with Paul Goldschmidt on the other side. Goodness. And that offense is ridiculous.
Starting pitching will probably be their issue.
Yeah. Wainwright's coming back, isn't he? But, I mean, you don't know what he's going to do. You don't know. This is probably going to be his last year, But it's tough. I mean, it's just tough to think that what they're going to do and then other divisions. But I mean, with all these signings that are happening, I mean, obviously it's building up to an interesting season. That's why I love free agency sometimes, especially with a lot of them like that, because you never know where these players are going to go. Because it's very rare, but some teams will go from being, 50-50 or a 500 club to, bumping up to first or second in the division, Which team do you think probably won the free agency?
Ooh.
It's tough, isn't it?
Who won the free agency?
Mm-hmm. I got to say the Yankees. That's just me.
Okay, yeah. Because of Judge and
Rodon. I mean, two pieces that they needed, they got, which we all figured that Aaron Judge was going back to New York. I mean, but you got another pitcher who threw a no-hitter 2 seasons ago, solid guy.
I think with what the Phillies did last year and them getting Trey Turner,
you know what? I agree.
Pretty big time.
Dave Dombrowski's a great general manager. He knows when to make those moves and add people. And you're right. Yeah.
San Diego, how can you with what they're getting Soto there at the end of last year?
What are they going to do though?
What do you mean? You keep saying that.
I just don't think that it's like. I'm not saying that they have a whole clubhouse full of egos or anything like that. I'm not saying that because I really do think that teams like that could come together and do that. Look at the 2004 freaking Boston Red Sox. I just think that with all of this talent and goodness,
Lindor's going to see some time in the outfield, right?
Francisco Lindor,
yeah,
or Tatis.
I mean, Tatis, my bad.
Yeah.
What am I thinking?
Tatis Jr.? Yeah, I agree.
I was thinking Tatis,
yeah,
my bad.
I know what you meant, yeah.
He'll spend some time in the outfield, but he also can give Bogert some rest.
Yeah.
Bogert can give Machado some rest.
Yeah.
And I mean from fielding, from being in the field,
right.
where they'll still be in the lineup as a DH.
Yeah, because you have to have Machado in that lineup.
They'll still be in the lineup as a DH.
Goodness.
They're loaded, dude.
They are loaded. They got Musgrove, Darvish. Is that pretty much it? Sean Manaea went to the Giants. Blake Snell. That's right. Blake Snell did it. That's right. He's a good lefty. Yeah. I mean, you got it. They're in win-now mode, and A.J. Preller, I'm telling you, he's going to be on the hot seat for the first couple months if they don't start winning, which, that division.
I think they'll run away with that division.
Really? Especially with the more balanced schedule? Yeah.
I just don't see the Dodgers. I think they're going to fall. Well, they 111 wins. They're not. They might be 20 wins under that this year.
It's tough to come back and do that same thing, especially since everything went right. Justin Turner's not going to be there. Trey Turner ain't going to be there.
Trey Turner's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine how many runs saved and then how many stolen bases, how many runs scored, how many infield base hits that are not going to be this year, It's going to be pretty interesting. But I was looking at the Cubs, and I was thinking, the Cubs.
Interesting. They got a lot of young talent.
They do. And Nico going from short to second, him and Dansby, Swanson up the middle are going to be
absolutely
insanely good. And then you got Eric Hosmer take a chance. You got Cody Bellinger, which I think one of the reasons why I think Cody went to Chicago is maybe because of David Ross. Great manager, players manager kind of guy. Knows he's going to give him a chance knowing that he's an MVP caliber. I mean, he's an MVP guy. So maybe they can find his swing again. I hope so because he's a good player. But I just think that sometimes you just try too hard.
Their pitching, though, is awful.
Oh, it's bad. That's why that right there. Whenever I saw, I watched a little bit of the press conference with Dansby, and he was talking to the owner. Can't think of his name, but the owner was saying that once we signed Dansby, he was asking, what do we have? Do we have this? Do we have that? And I'm thinking, don't you ask that before you sign? I mean, I'm all for winning and everything, but if you don't have any pieces, I understand the money. You get guarantee money, yes, but in baseball, that money's always going to be there if you perform. It doesn't matter what team you play for, but wouldn't you rather have a couple rings? Ideally, I mean, that's just me, So I we'll see what they do. I mean, you lost Contreras. I mean, there's your catcher right there, So I don't know what they're going to do, but I mean, seems like Dansby's happy to be there. I'm sure his wife is.
Yeah, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, but with the big break like we had, Commish, gosh, this was like letting off steam, getting in here and talking about old Major League Baseball again.
It's going to heat up quick.
It will. Yep. We have about a month, just a little over a month until spring training starts. Yeah, baby. And then March 29th, first game. I was listening to MLB Network on satellite radio on the way over here, and they were talking about how they would like it to where both of the two teams that were in the World Series play each other the first game or first series, which I thought that would be interesting. But how would the schedules be after that?
Good luck with that. I mean, I don't envy the schedule maker of the MLB.
No.
Especially now with the universal scheduling where you got to play everybody.
Yeah. And they usually do these couple seasons ahead of time, right?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's usually pretty true, close to where the time.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive they come up with all that.
Isn't it? Yeah, it is. But with everybody listening in, I mean, we were so happy to get back here in the studio, Commish, and talk a little baseball, But we're here in the slowdown lane once again.
It's okay. We can talk maybe some fantasy. We haven't talked about.
We haven't talked about fantasy,
and we haven't talked about
our favorite ballparks, favorite
ballpark.
Baseball movies.
There you go. We got some
top
stuff.
five.
Yeah,
top
absolutely.
five. Yeah, we do have some stuff, and we'll get to it. But this right here was, it was almost like I had like a muzzle over my mouth, and I had to talk. We had to get another episode in because it's been a month, and we thank you all of our listeners that are listening because we are continuing to grow, Commission. I'm so thankful. And thankful for you for joining in always, and everybody that's listening. But all of our episodes are always brought to you by Tri-Vitamins. Tri-Vitamins, be the warrior like you are and eat like the warrior that you need to be. We have Trivitamins has all kinds of organ complexes, bison liver, elk heart, all that kind of stuff. And we also have some new tallow balm to make you smell good. New tallow balm to where if you have any kind of sensitive skin and you want to smell good, that tallow balm, just put it right on you, make you all moist, make you smell good.
You know what I've been binge watching?
What?
That when you think of warriors and Trivitamin, bison, vitamins type of thing. And I never really watched it fully through. And if you don't, you have to. Because you have to get all the history of everything. Game of Thrones.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
Would that not be a great? Oh yeah, Trivitamin bison.
Oh yeah. Have you watched it? Have you watched it all the way through yet?
No, I'm in season 3.
Wow. Oh yeah. So
I started from the beginning.
So it's early, but it's good, right?
I started from the beginning. My son says, "Wait for the red wedding." That's when everything.
Like Billy Idol.
But
nice day for a white wedding.
So yeah, man. Now I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Well, that's good, man. I'm glad.
That and Yellowstone, that'd be another good one.
Oh, Yellowstone. I love me some Kevin Costner, man. God, old Billy Chapel. Now he's a farmer. I like Yellowstone a lot. I like Yellowstone. It's not as good as The Sopranos, but that's tough.
I couldn't get into The Sopranos.
Watch it from the beginning.
I've tried. I'll try again.
Okay, yes,
it'll be like Game of Thrones because I was sort of like that with Game of Thrones.
On the planet.
Better than Yellowstone.
Oh yeah,
Yellowstone's pretty good though.
Yeah. It's tough to top. It's tough to top. You know.
I'm so far from being a cowboy. I love that stuff.
I'm gonna start. You gotta start wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat.
I don't know about that.
You gotta start pouring a glass of whiskey
next weekend, baby. You know what's coming to Clemson?
What's that?
The Southeastern Bull Riding Championships.
No way.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, now since you're alumni commish, do you have access to that? Can you go?
Yeah, I can go. Yeah, it's public.
No
it's
way.
Public. It's open. It's at their. They have a big old whatchamacallit where they compete at.
Oh, really?
I don't know what you call that. Rodeo type of place.
Yeah, rodeo. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So yeah, bull riding. Of course, I got one of my sons says, "How do I enter?" I go, "Dude, no, it doesn't work that way."
He says, "I want to do it."
He says, "I do it, dude." And so I was looking at it, and they have some special events.
Yeah,
and they have college bull wrestling for college age kids. I'm like, wait, what is this?
Are we talking about like a heifer or like a real bull?
I don't know, but he's signing up. I'm going to sign him up for. He's going to sign up for it. I'll take video of it.
Yes, please do. We'll talk about it on here.
Man, we got way off track.
Yeah, we did. But everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. This has been 60 feet 6 inches. Keep your grass green and your pants dirty. So long, everybody.